Welcome to the bonded dog. There is a question that quietly lingers beneath many dog relationships, even if it is rarely spoken aloud, and it surfaces most clearly in the small, ordinary moments of daily life. When your dog follows you from room to room without being called, when they glance toward you before reacting to a new sound, or when their entire body softens the instant you walk through the door, it is natural to wonder what role you truly play in their internal world. Are you simply a provider of food and shelter, or do they see you as something closer to a parent, a secure base around which their emotional life revolves? To answer that, we have to look beyond sentiment and into how dogs are wired to bond. The science of attachment. Dogs are one of the very few species outside of humans that form attachment bonds resembling those between children and caregivers. Research has shown that many dogs use their humans as what psychologists call a secure base, meaning they explore their environment more confidently when their person is present and show signs of stress when separated for extended periods. This pattern closely mirrors the attachment behavior observed in young children toward their parents. However, attachment does not necessarily mean your dog believes you are biologically their mother or father. Instead, it suggests that dogs transfer caregiving expectations onto the humans who consistently meet their needs. Over thousands of years of domestication, dogs evolved alongside humans in a way that strengthened this dependency and social alignment, making us central figures in their emotional regulation. In other words, they may not conceptualize you as a parent in the human sense, but they absolutely experience you as a primary attachment figure. Why dogs look to you for guidance. One of the clearest signs of this attachment is something called social referencing, which occurs when a dog looks to you in uncertain situations to gauge how they should respond. If a strange noise startles them, they often glance at your face. If you remain calm, they relax more quickly, but if you tense up, they may mirror that anxiety. This behavior strongly resembles how toddlers check their parents' facial expressions before deciding whether something is safe. It reveals that your emotional signals carry weight in your dog's nervous system, influencing how they interpret the world around them. This dynamic moves the relationship beyond ownership and into co-regulation, where your presence helps stabilize their emotional state. Dependency versus partnership. It is tempting to frame this entirely in parental terms, yet the human-dog bond is slightly more complex than a simple parent-child comparison. Unlike children, dogs do not grow toward full independence from their attachment figures. Instead, the bond often remains mutually reinforcing throughout their lives. They rely on you for structure, resources, and emotional security, but they also provide companionship, alertness, and affection in return. This creates a relationship that blends dependency with partnership, making it unique among interspecies connections. Your dog may not intellectually categorize you as mom or dad, but their behavior often reflects trust, reliance, and orientation similar to how young mammals relate to caregivers. Following you everywhere. When your dog follows you into the kitchen, waits outside the bathroom door, or shifts rooms the moment you move, it is not always about food or curiosity. Proximity seeking is one of the strongest indicators of attachment in mammals. Staying near the attachment figure increases perceived safety and reduces stress, especially in social species like dogs. For many dogs, your location defines the center of their world. Being near you regulates their heart rate, reduces cortisol levels, and reinforces a sense of environmental predictability. This does not mean they are helpless without you, but it does mean your presence carries psychological weight. The emotional reunion. Perhaps the most powerful evidence of attachment appears during reunions. When you return home after hours away and your dog greets you with full-body enthusiasm, wagging not just their tail, but their entire spine, what you are witnessing is more than excitement about access to resources. Studies measuring oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, show that both dogs and humans experience increases during affectionate interaction, strengthening the biological loop of connection. This hormonal response mirrors patterns seen between parents and infants, reinforcing the idea that your role in your dog's life is deeply embedded in their emotional chemistry. What you truly represent. So, do dogs see you as their parent? The most accurate answer is that dogs see you as their primary attachment figure, the one who provides safety, guidance, and emotional grounding. While they may not conceptualize parent as humans define it, their nervous system responds to you in ways remarkably similar to how young mammals respond to caregivers. You are the stable point in their world, the reference in uncertainty, the reunion they anticipate, and the presence that helps them settle. A bond that doesn't need a name. In the end, the question of whether your dog sees you as their parent may matter less than the reality of how they respond to you every day. Dogs do not organize their relationships through human labels. They organize them through safety, repetition, and emotional consistency. What you represent in their life is not a word, but a feeling. The steady presence that anchors their routine, the familiar voice that calms their uncertainty, and the reliable figure who makes the world feel predictable. Whether we call that parenthood, partnership, or attachment, the bond itself speaks clearly through their behavior. And in that quiet loyalty, the definition almost becomes unnecessary. Before we close, it may help to sit with this idea for a moment. Whatever label we choose, parent, caregiver, attachment figure, your dog does not experience you through vocabulary. They experience you through consistency, through tone, through the way your presence changes the atmosphere of a room. You are the one they orient toward when something feels uncertain, the one they search for when something feels wrong, and the one whose return restores balance after absence. That kind of role goes beyond ownership and even beyond affection. It lives in the nervous system, in patterns repeated daily, in the quiet trust built over thousands of small interactions. So whether or not your dog thinks of you as mom or dad, what remains undeniable is that you occupy a central place in their emotional world, and that position is earned not by titles, but by the steady rhythm of care you provide every single day. More than ownership. The next time your dog looks at you with quiet trust or chooses to rest near your feet rather than in another room, consider that what you represent in their life may be deeper than simple companionship. You are not just the one who fills the bowl or holds the leash. You are the emotional anchor around which much of their security is built. Thank you for being here at The Bonded Dog, where we explore the psychology behind the bond you share with your dog. If this helped you understand your place in your dog's world a little more clearly, consider subscribing and joining us for the next episode. Until next time, pay attention to how they look at you, because in that gaze is the story of what you truly mean to them.